Hi everyone, today is September 2nd, 2023. Today I'm going to vlog our garden update. Enjoy! Here we have our Candy Kisses Sun Patience from QVC, and they did really well this summer. As you can see, they're blooming and there's more buds coming up. And you only have to rotate the pot every few weeks and keep them watered. Now this is a shady area and they tend to do really well over on the front porch. So I'm gonna try another variety or maybe the same variety next summer. These were again Cottage Farms Candy Kisses Sun Patience. Here we have our earth bins with beefsteak tomatoes. I planted 2 in each bin. And we're still getting some tomatoes that haven't turned yet. As you can see, there's some in there. These do really well. Plants don't get diseases, and you just have to keep the bins full of water. So on the side yard here, we have our Weigelias. Here we had our lilies. And here are our ferns. They're not Boston ferns, but they're another variety. They do very well in moist soils. So this clay soil in the backyard is really good medium for them to grow in. And here we have our butterfly bushes. There we have some butterflies today. Purple, white. I'll go around the bush. Another purple. Those did really well this summer. Got really big. They probably won't get any bigger than this. And towards the end of October, I'll have to cut them back. Possibly April as well, if I don't get to it by October. Here we have our giant hostas that we planted this year. Those have acclimated. And here we have our black-eyed Susans, along with some hostas. Those are beautiful. Have some baby bunnies living in there. They'll come out and chomp on the hosta leaves. And I think that was the culprit in that area, all the bunnies. The hostas just didn't take. Here we have our hydrangeas. And a few astilbes that I didn't get to transplanting this year. I'll have to follow up with in the spring. We have our catmint on this side. And it looks like everything except for the bumblebees. There's a bumblebee down in here. If you could see them buzzing around in there. Everything except for the bumblebees has left this alone. It's a giant catmint, and it attracts a lot of animals typically. Mostly cats and coyotes I've seen on the cameras. And here we have our Stelladoros. Few are still in bloom. It's about 9 or 10 plants in here, and we have our irises. The irises are a bit spikier. And the irises only bloom for a few weeks. And around the bend here, we have our raspberry bushes. And now we're having our blackberries. When we first bought all of these, the blackberries were the first berries that we had. But last year, we cut it back, cut the canes back on the plant, and it took a long time for it to rebound. So it'll be interesting next year to see how many blackberries we get and when those start to ripen for us. We have our yellow berries down at this end. Little bird nest back in the corner there. And those red berries are still performing for us. No yellow berries though. And near our composters, our peony bush. That keeps getting stronger and stronger each year. And when we first moved in, I'll share a small story about this plant. We didn't know a location for it. We didn't really have a location for it. So we put the pot down. Look at that. And the plant rooted itself through the pot. And so ever since, you could see the deep roots on this plant. We've kind of just left it alone. It really likes this area. And should I ever get rid of the compost bin, we can certainly allow this peony bush to get a bit bigger or plant another one closer by. They're really pretty. Here we have our pepper bin, and as you can see, with all the cool nights in August, it's changed the green peppers into yellow peppers like we've wanted and we've waited for. I'm going to update the Pruning Peppers catalog of videos and share how many peppers that we've gathered from this one bin just by using that method of pruning back. Here we have our strawberry bin. And our leftover bin with a boatload of tomatoes still growing. These are the same varieties in the front of the house in the earth bins. These are beefsteak. They did really well in the earth bins, and they did really well in the backyard too. Now in this bin, we only got one pepper on both of these pepper plants that we included here. And I pruned these back as well, so it's just the fertilizer, I believe, that's different. And here we have our herb bin with our mint. Right here I cut back. I cut back to about the third node that was still growing on these plants. Right, so you count up 1, 2, 3. And I did that because I really want these to come back next season. So if you cut them all the way back to where there's no growth below the node, which I could have, you can see there's some green growing down at the base of this plant, then you're likely to lose the plant. So just make sure, cut above a node all the time when you're pruning back a plant. And here's our basil. Really in need of water today. and our parsley. And of course our onions. Well, thank you for watching our garden updates this year. Next year I hope to do just as many garden updates. Charlie and I had a fun time watching our garden grow and change during the season, and I hope you did too. So stay tuned for next year.